next recipe is our berry pizza. Now this one, I use pita bread, and you could also use flat bread. Just make sure if you're using a flat bread for this, not to get one of the flavored ones, because they have Italian seasoned various flavors of flatbread. You don't want to accidentally use one of those with this, because it'll have a bit of a twang to it that way. You can also use just tortillas if you wanted to. I've had it that way and it works really well. Okay, so we'll go ahead with the sugar. And put in some cornstarch. And you can add a little bit of salt to this if you want, but it really doesn't need it. Stir that in there. Now you're going to start off with just a half a cup of the berries. And it doesn't really matter what type of berries you use, just any of your favorite berries mix up for this. I'm using raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries with some cherries for this one. The reason you want to start off with just a half a cup, because you're going to be cooking these berries down a little bit. It'll absorb the flavor into the sauce. And of course, these berries will mush up. But you want to make sure to keep the rest of the berries. You're going to have this and split this up again to put some of these in right before we take it off and melt a little bit of butter with it. Then you're going to keep some to the side to keep it for fresh. To right as you're serving it, you sprinkle it over top thin. So basically what you want to do now is just let this cook down just enough to where it starts thickening up. Give the cornstarch time to thicken there. And while it's doing that, you can take your flatbread or your pita bread. I've got just a basic artisan type bread here and just a regular white pita bread. Now they have a wheat and a whole grain pita bread. The whole grain works really well for this too. Set that over here. And you want to kind of toast them up a little bit. I made both kinds actually, so sample each one. Okay. It's starting to thicken up a little bit there. So you're going to add another cup of the berries to it here. Set that back here to the side. I'm going to take some butter. And once that butter is melted down in there, you'll be ready to go ahead and pull it off. Now you could use margarine if you wanted to with this, but you will tell a slight difference in the flavor. The butter does give it a richer flavor. Okay. Now you take some orange as well as the lemon, and you want to shred some of the rind off of it. Kind of throw that in there. I went ahead and pre-cut this. You can cut it by hand if you want to, or you can actually use a grater. You'll find it's a lot easier. Just take a grater and just grate it fresh as you're going. But another thing you can do, save some of the oranges instead of just peeling it and cutting it up and just, throwing the orange part away, you can actually throw that into this if you wanted to. Okay. Set this over here. Now this is one, whoops. Almost forgot one little major step here. Where'd my brush go? Yep. You actually want to spread the butter on it. And for the seasons, I've used cardamom, sugar, and nutmeg. Now, if you just want to use cinnamon sugar once again, that's just as well. You can edit that part out. Okay. We're going to make another glaze to go on top of this right quick. Now, I used an orange marmalade. They actually make different types of marmalade. There is a 3-fruit marmalade that works really well with this too, if you want to try it. Okay, just take that. Now this is the pre-whipped cream cheese, just because it's smoother and it saves a lot of time. Okay. Let's mix that all up together. And spread that on there. This is one that you could serve hot or cold. If you serve it cold, make sure to take the sauce and everything and let it sit, for at least 4 hours in the refrigerator. Okay. Let's take a little bit of powdered sugar, sprinkle over top, and it's a quick, easy, and you find it's real delicious too, especially for brunch. A lot of times you think of a combination of breakfast and lunch. Traditionally, there's always something sweet. There's an element of sweetness to most of the dishes too.